Hey students, welcome to M281, talking about practice and professionalism in healthcare. I am your instructor, I'm Dr. Lindsay. Welcome to the course. I want to take this first few minutes here to walk you through kind of the navigation of the course, what to expect, where to find things, and then this will also count towards your first live lecture. Since our first week is very short, we will not have a chance to meet live before Friday when we need to get that information to you. So this counts as your live lecture. I will provide a keyword at the end of this short video for you to enter for that point, or those points. All right, let's start with the syllabus. I think that's a good place to go. Syllabus has all of the important information you need to know. My phone number and email are here. I would very much prefer that you use the course messages to get in contact with me. I will respond much faster if you use the course messages. And please just reserve this email address for emergencies only. Again, I will get back to you much faster if you use the course messages instead of this email. Use this as a backup. Secondly, this phone number goes to my office phone, so I very rarely sit at my desk. I'm usually in a classroom where I'm off campus. So if you do give me a call, make sure you leave a message. Any voicemails are always automatically forwarded to me. But if you don't leave that voicemail, I may not know that you called for 3-4 days, depending on what day of the week it is. So keep that in mind. Leave a message if you call, and please use course messages unless it's an absolute emergency and you have to get a hold of me this way. Okay, let's go ahead a bit. I know you can read all this on your own, but I wanted to point out the grading criteria. So for this class, about 16% of your overall grade will come from the discussion posts each week. 48% is your course project. So you've probably noticed that's a huge portion, almost half of your grade is coming from the course projects that we do each week, and those are in the form of a written assignment. There is 16% of your grade coming from a written assignment. The live classroom, that is a keyword or phrase that's given to you each week, will be worth 10%, and there is one final exam worth another 10%. I hope that makes sense. To pass the class, you do need to get above the 60%. The rest of this I will let you read on your own, but I do want to point out one thing with the academic integrity policy. There is no cheating allowed. I know that sounds very obvious, but I have had a lot of instances where students copy and then paste some work from a source into their assignments, and they are thinking that if they cite that work, if they provide a citation, that that's not plagiarism, and that thinking is not correct. You can never, ever, ever copy and paste any sort of work into your work. That's stealing, essentially. Another way to think of that is if, as an instructor, I'm reading your work and it's the same as something else, I don't know that you're actually getting it. The example I usually use is, I'm not a pilot, but if I read a book on how to fly a plane, and I copied that information and put it into a Word document, would you trust me to fly your plane? And the answer is no, you really shouldn't, because I didn't learn that information. From copying it from one source to putting it in another, it's not helping me to learn it. So when you're doing your work, always use your own words. I cannot tell you how important that is. All right, questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, I think we should be in good shape. Let's take a look at Module 1. So Module 1 has two folders. The lesson content is something that you should be looking through already if you haven't. And then the most important part, your assignments. You have a discussion post that you'll need to complete and then also reply. So one post, one reply are always necessary. And for your course project this week, there's actually two sections to this, and I want to run through what this should look like. The first section is completing a HIPAA summary. When we are looking at our course project, we are creating an employee manual. The best way to do this is to put yourself in a managerial position. Imagine that you are hiring new employees and you need to train them to work in your healthcare clinic. The first part of this applies to that handbook. Everyone who's hired at a clinic, a lot of you probably already know this, will have to go through some sort of HIPAA training. And that's what I want you to provide here. At least one full paragraph, think like at least a half page of information that wraps up what HIPAA is and what someone needs to know about it who's coming into a healthcare career. This is a very introductory audience, so think of someone who's never worked in healthcare before. They're coming into your clinic, they don't even know what it stands for, they don't know what it applies to or whom it applies to. You need to provide an overall summary of what HIPAA is and why it matters to this new employee. So that's part one. Part two is going to be a formal letter. In this formal letter, you need to include one full page and all of the formatting that comes along with a business letter. You can use this letter to deny any service or any payment of your choice. I've had students that choose to deny a surgery due to insurance coverage or deny a payment for a service because blah, 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 or deny a certain treatment. It's really up to you. You can deny this fake patient anything you like, but it's important that you follow the proper formatting and that you apply the proper tone to that audience. And your audience is the general population. So someone who's coming into a clinic, it could be your grandma, your aunt, your sister, or your neighbor down the street. Whatever you're writing in this denial letter needs to be something that they would understand and they would comprehend. All right, if you have questions on how to format that letter, make sure you're looking through the lesson content. There are very specific steps to follow when creating this, when you're creating this business letter. Both of these parts, HIPAA and your denial letter, need to be written on one single document. And this is just the beginning of your course project. I'd like to give you a preview of what a final project will look like. So I'll pull that up. Your final project will look something like this. You'll have a title page, you'll have a table of contents, and here's that first part. So your HIPAA policy will be laid out here, meaning that HIPAA summary, training your new employees on what HIPAA means, why it applies to them. And your sample rejection letter will come second. So you will have your clinic, your patient, the information needed in the denial, and so forth. The next few pages on this document, I'm going to scroll through them very quickly. They are going to be your module 2, 3, 4, and 5 assignments. So we're going to keep adding to this document through weeks 3, 4, and 5. Again, you don't need to know this right now. I just want to give you an overview of what it looks like in its entirety to complete this handbook. So everything that I'm showing you right now is the full handbook. We are just creating the first 2 sections this week. You're creating your HIPAA overview and your denial letter. And eventually we're going to put this all together as one big piece in the very last module to create one handbook for your course project. Alright, I hope that makes sense. I do want to show you the calendar. If you haven't already found your calendar, this is important. At the top right of your home page, you will find calendar with your due dates. Now mine looks really colorful because I have a lot of classes. This class is the bright pink. So you'll see that we started class on Wednesday. We have an initial discussion post due on Friday, which is tomorrow if you're watching this on Thursday. Your reply post is due on Saturday, and both your course project and live lecture are due on Sunday. Following this week, your due dates will change slightly. Initial discussions will be due on Tuesdays every week, reply on Saturday, and everything else on Sunday. So refer to that calendar if you haven't already. It's a great place to get some information. And lastly, for your Module 1 Module 1 live lecture this week, I want you to enter your favorite sport that you are watching at the Olympics. So we have We're about 1 week into the Olympics. We've got 1 more week to go. Just let me know what your favorite sport is, and that will cover those 5 points for this week. Going forward, we will schedule our live lectures for 6 o'clock Central Time on Wednesdays. I was hoping to get some more feedback. It looks like we only have about 8 participants who were able to log in and complete that link. But it looks like the majority of you are available on Wednesday evenings at 6 p.m. So that's when we will meet every week. Again, if you can't make it, that's okay. You can always watch the recording, but I very much encourage you to attend live so we can answer any questions face to face. All right, that's it for me. I hope that you've had a good week so far, and we have 5 more good weeks ahead of us. Let me know if you have questions, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks.